Hello, people. Hola, aloha, ciao, salut, ni hao, namaste, ohayo, yakamasu. Здравствуйте, привет, bunna, dzień dobry, sziasztok, hello. Xin chào, yebosio tere, salam alaikum, saskaka, marhaban, merhaba. Hello. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Brunel. For everybody else, welcome back. How are you? You good? You good? You are? Oh, good. Okay, so Makeup Revolution. Oh, no, actually, not Makeup Revolution. Revolution Beauty. Okay, the people responsible for Makeup Revolution, I Heart Makeup, Makeup Revolution Pro, have created a new concealer. The concealer is part of the Makeup Obsession. It comes in 18 shades with a combination of neutral, warm, and what else? Cool undertones. And also it comes, let's have a look. I think this is a container, because I didn't think what I was going to say. This is a container. The cost is £7, which is actually more than their Conceal and Define concealer, which is usually £4. I'm not too sure what the size of the Conceal and Define is, but this one here, you get quite a bit. You get for you Americans, 0.44 fluid ounces. For the rest of the world, 13 mil. Okay, so that's what you get. So there's quite a lot in there. But comparison wise, just so you know right off the bat, if you're comparing price wise with the Conceal and Define, it is a higher price. Right, the claims here before we get started, quickly, it says, this is mega. Discover buildable coverage boosted with caffeine. Caffeine, by the way, is only to boost, wake up your under eyes, but also really good for the skin, especially for mature skin. So that's a good thing. It says here, creamy and comfortable to wear. Makeup Obsession Mega Conceal disguises uneven tone, blemishes, dark circles, and late night. Okay, and also the long wearing formula sets to a demi matte finish as a match for all skin types. It won't cling to dry patches or slide on oily complexions. Okay, very good claim. It says here, in a jumbo tube with a generous fill, so you don't run out when you need it. This concealer features a flocked applicator for added comfort. The paddle shape is carefully designed to hug the contours of your face for speedy and accurate application on the go. Ooh, okay. Mega Conceal comes in 18 shades with a mixture of cool, neutral, warm undertones for a mega bright under eye effect. Choose a shade lighter than your skin tone. Right, so before I get started, a quick little moan when it comes to this, so you can skip this, but let me tell you, it is relevant. If you are darker than my skin tone, you might have a little bit of trouble trying to find your shade, especially if you want to try out to see whether it works or not. If you go in store, don't bother going to Boots, which is where I went, because they don't have all the shades on display. They don't have enough space for all the shades. They go from up to darker skin tones, you might be looking at 11, 12. I went to shade number 13 and also shade number 17. They didn't have anything after 13. Their 14 is missing, 15 is missing, 16 is missing, and 18 are missing, which are meant to be the most popular shades when it comes to people of dark skin tone. And I find that a bit of a problem that in 2019, we still have stores where, a company will create different shades, and for some reason, the darkest shade won't be available. Now, this is London. London has got all sorts of ethnic backgrounds, people with different skin shades, and to have a store where you go in and it's not there on display, just left out certain shades, I just think it's a bit off. Don't you think so? 2019 really shouldn't be happening. That's enough yapping. We are going to apply the concealer now and see how it is. I won't be making a full day wear test. However, by the time I get to editing and so on, I would have had this on for quite a few hours. I will put at the end of the video what my thoughts are, and if anything changes, let you know that way. So this is how it comes, and I've got a little bit of fluff there. Ooh, okay, yeah, this is way too light, way too light, but we'll make it work. So it's got like a smell, but it's not overpowering. And this is the applicator that's innovative and precise. Hopefully you'll be able to see that there. And well, let's see how precise it is. It says it's very precise, glides on super easy. So let's see. Oh, this is way too light. So like it is thick, definitely. And let's see whether that's more precise. Well, you do get it all in here, so I don't necessarily know about how precise it is, but it doesn't feel as dry or as mattifying as the Conceal and Define. So I'm just trying to apply that again. Let's see. Yeah, because it's nice enough. I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I think it's okay. I don't see that it's a big major thing. But it's a definitely really thick formula. And you don't end up with too much product on the applicator as well. Which is good, because then you can control it. Ooh, well, we're going to have to tone this baby down. That will make it work. Alright, let's see how quickly it dries. And how easily it blends into the skin. Okay, applying it with a sponge for some reason seems to be removing the product. So you might be better off with a brush, but I normally don't use the brush for this. So I'm going to make do with this. To be fair, if you're using a sponge, it does shear out some of the product. Which is why I like using a sponge with thick product, products with thick consistencies, because I can then sort of tone it down a little bit. Okay, so you need to work fairly quickly with this. Okay, apart from it being the wrong shade, and it's too light, I need a lot more warmth, and a shade darker will be a lot better, but I'm gonna sort my face out. I was going to actually use number 17 as a contour shade, but honestly there's a little bit too much warmth in it. Although it's darker, it's just too warm. I can't actually use it, and it just won't do. I'll show you what it looks like. It's just too warm, and it almost disappears. It doesn't do it. This won't do it for me as a contour, so I won't be using this. But it is a thick consistency. The applicator does not take out too much. In fact, you need to dip back in, but I mean, at least you can control it. It dries not too fast, and it blends in. You can still see your skin, so it's, it did say it is actually buildable. I'm quite happy with the coverage as it is, because I'm using it more not to cover dark circles, but more to kind of to highlight. I've already applied foundation underneath, so I don't need to put another layer in. But if you were looking to cover, you know, different skin tones or darkness under your eyes, then you could top it up, because it's actually did say that it is buildable. So those are my thoughts so far. Now I'm just going to finish my face off camera, apply powders, and see how that applies, and then give you my final thoughts. Anything else that's actually different, that's outstanding, a few hours later on, as I said earlier, I will put that at the end of the video, so watch out for that if there's anything at all to be said. I might actually also then put a comment at the very top of the video and pin that for you. So back in a little while. And voila, this is my face all done. Not particularly happy with the finish on my face. That's nothing to do with the concealer itself, more to do with the powder that I used for the first time. One of the It Cosmetics powders. Apparently the shade was meant to be for rich skin tone. I don't think so. About the concealers themselves. Personally, would I go and buy this again? No, but that is to do with personal preference, nothing to do with concealer itself. Only because my face is super extra oily as anything, except around my eyes. underneath these areas is sort of dry. And then when you combine that with the fact that I've got big eyes, more skin and more folds, and my age, hello, 41, very proud. So when you add all that, and then I set it with powder as well because I want it to stay in place, then it tends to create more creases and dries it all out. So for me personally, I would prefer a much creamier concealer rather than this one. However, taking that aside, it is a good concealer. It is one where you can control the coverage and you build it up. If you felt initially that maybe the Conceal and Define concealer was a bit too heavy, a bit too mattifying for you, this is actually a better option for you because it is creamy, just not creamy enough for me, but it's creamy enough. And also when you the applicator that you use with it, you actually can control it more because not too much comes out in one lump, so you can dip in back in whenever you feel like it. I do like the applicator. It does feel a lot smoother than the doe foot applicator that's on the Conceal and Define concealers and foundations, because it's much kinder to your skin. As you glide it underneath your eyes, it does feel a lot softer and easier to apply your concealer with. You could actually do with more range of color ranges as well. I just don't think it's enough, especially now that we're now used to the luxury of having 50 shades of concealers and foundations. 18 doesn't quite cut it, but I can't really begrudge Revolution Beauty too much for that because they have improved and they did expand on their concealers, so the chances are they're going to do the same thing with this particular range as well, hopefully. So if you don't find your shade, maybe later on, if they do decide to expand the range, you can then find your shade. It's just not my personal choice, but that's because of my skin tone, but I will still recommend it for others. £7, a bit more than the other ones. Unfortunately, I can't give a comparison with regards to sizes because I've tried to look for the size of the Conceal and Define and I can't find it. So I think actually that this one might be a bit bigger, but I could be wrong. Caffeine, as I stated earlier, good for mature skin. So this one will probably be a lot better if you've got tired kind of eyes, you needed a little bit of a boost, and also for say mature skin, it's much kinder. So that's that. So those are my thoughts. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment if you haven't already. I do appreciate it. Your girl would like to actually get to 2,000 by the end of March, so help me out, won't you? Thank you and bye people. Bye.